Alright, my favourite board, creased. Actually, someone had creased it before and done the shittest repair. My guess is it wasn't bonded to the foam properly, glass, and flexing. While I was surfing, it was flexing under my feet, which felt odd. So, I've already filled it, shaped it. Now we're going to glass it up. Patch. I was going to do one and see how it goes, but I think I'll do two. So when we do our patches, we don't want straight lines. You either want to cut a diamond or curves. I feel like if you cut curves, put more glass on. If you cut kind of diamondy looking patches, almost get away with having a smaller patch. That's what I'm going to try and do on this. Reason being, it's my board. It's good to test different ideas. That I've got about glassing and strength, etc., with my own board, rather than on a customer's board. That's pretty self-explanatory. I'll do an experiment on a customer's board, full price, and then it fucking breaks. I look like a peanut. So, second patch as well. Also, inside the first patch, but bigger than the actual ding repair. So my ding repair is here and here, here and here. Both of my patches cover them. A lot of repairs that have been fixed before come in. My dinged area from here to here, they'll do a big patch there to there, and they'll do a fucking small patch in the middle. Small patches, in my opinion, doing jack shit. Which is a bit pointless. Alright, there's our patches. Go ahead, laminating resin, glass it up. Bob's on.
Probably going to use, I like to have a lot of extra, not a lot, but enough extra resin. I'd rather be scraping resin out of my repair than add it in. There's 200 mil at 250 just to be safe. If you go stingy on the resin, the glass is all dry. It's not going to be saturated properly, or it ain't fucking fixed properly. The way I've always thought about it. At least if you put a lot of extra resin in there and try and scrape it out. Don't get me wrong, it's not the best idea to put heaps of resin on there, but what I'm saying is you're better off having more than having less. Catalyze the resin. I'm just using 1% so I can go at a good pace. You don't want to under-catalyze it. It's sitting here and fucking dripping and shit everywhere. So, prior to this, resin goes on. Take your time, let it sit. Don't be too eager to spread it out. Feel like when you let it sit, it soaks through a lot better, and you don't have to work it as much, which is easier. So with the ding repair, I actually fold my laps back up towards me to let it soak in more. With the double lap hanging down, it makes it a little bit trickier to soak through. Not a lot, but definitely a little bit. So as you can see, that's wet, which is good. So I try not to let too much drip off or waterfall, because not until I'm ready. You do it at the start. if you waterfall it at the start too quickly, I feel like you're basically pouring most of your resin off the edge of a fucking cliff. All this area get wet out first, and then you use whatever you got to do to waterfall it. Whatever you end up left with, if you waterfall that, as you get it all used, run out, at least you got everything nice and wet. If you pour it off deck straight away and you run out and your rails aren't wet out, you're fucked. And then, because you're glassing a ding, got multiple patches, you've got to be careful that they don't shift. The ding over there has shifted a little bit and it's actually not quite covering the second layer, covering my ding. What I said I fucking hate, I do. But I said I don't want to put huge patches on. This is a lot smaller than what I would normally do because I want to see how it goes and if it works. Sometimes you can pull it and move it around, but in case I'm not going to. A little crack on the rail here that I've just got an extra patch because I didn't want to put a huge panel of glass over my main ding. Squeegee it off, make it nice like the other ones. Make sure the string is nice and perfect. I don't fill the stringer with the Q-seal, it just looks a little bit nicer. But when you glass it like this, you've got to make sure that there's no bubbles in it. One more time. Make sure it's full tight, which it is. And let it go off. Goes off. Pretty much about it now. Once it goes off, what I do is a filler coat. Sand my filler coat back perfectly. And then finish coat. So, technically, it should be super strong. Some guys only glass it and then they would sand that. I believe when you sand that like that, you're just removing all the strength. The glass is the strength. If you filler coat it and then flatten out the filler coat, it kind of all blends into one. You don't really hit much glass. What you want. There's no strength in resin. It's the strength in the fiberglass. Wet out correctly. So that's the little bit I was telling you about. My patch just missed it because it moved. I did have it over to here, and it moved as I glassed it. So you got to be careful of that. There's, you know, no bubbles, patches. For its filler coat soon.